same thing.
And today we're going to talk about...
I almost said old tub.
Old Overholt.
This is the old sumbitch.
This is old. So Old Overholt's been around for... Oh, why?
The interesting thing, and now, to be full disclosure, I didn't know of this whiskey.
I don't think it's been around a lot in our area.
It has to be it.
And plus, I said, do we normally buy from the bottom shelf?
Yeah,
we're kind of bougie.
Yeah, we are bougie.
So since we're a little bougie, we normally look past this. But this is a bottle and bond, so it's 100 proof.
Yeah.
50% alcohol.
Now, is this still a Jim Beam distillate?
Still a Jim Beam distillate.
Wow, so we're talking that they're putting out so many different things.
I think Jim Beam tends to put out the most bottle and bond product. So it's like, it's crazy. But, think about this. And I've said this before. We really do love Jim Beam.
Yes.
Not necessarily just straight up Jim Beam, but
their products.
We like Booker's. We like,
we love Booker's.
Yeah. We like, Reserve.
Yeah.
So Russell's Reserve,
and
Basil Hayden's. And there's just a lot of Jim Beam that we like, and even Beam Suntory. So even like Hibiki Suntory is a Jim Beam product.
Yeah, whatever they stamp their name to, that it's got.
It tends to be a good product.
It tends to be good.
So, and I think here's the thing. I think as we're looking at all these budget whiskeys that we've been doing the last few weeks, and especially this one here too today, it just shows you the wide range of flavor that some place like Jim Beam puts out.
Yeah.
So it's every palate, every type of person's palate.
Yeah, and we're not really disappointed in anything we've tried with this budget whiskey.
Another thing that I don't like.
There were things that I was like, maybe not this so much, but what we're talking right now, we're going to talk about it more, but budget whiskey's not that bad.
No, budget whiskey's not bad at all. So to talk about this one, this Old Overholt is coming in. This is a straight rye whiskey. It is a 50-100, so 50% alcohol, 100 proof, 100.
That's because of the bond, which...
That's true. The mash bill on this is, if I'm right, is unpublished.
Oh, another secret recipe.
Secret recipe. So we don't get to know what the mash bill really is in it. It usually runs around $28.
Not bad.
So it's not a bad price, honestly, for a whiskey. It's a little higher than some of our other ones, honestly. So like most of them we've been doing that are 28, they're like a liter. This is a 750.
Now who's on who is this guy?
That is Abraham Overholt. So he is the originator of Overholt, next to his father, but he's the most successful, most well-known of the Overholt family.
So it's a portrait.
It's a portrait of him.
That's pretty cool.
So let's smell this and see it. We've already poured some.
Yeah.
Let's smell it and see what it smells like here. No, it's a rye whiskey.
There's a rye.
Behind load of rye spice in this. Rye spice.
We've
had a lot of whiskey today.
A little too much whiskey.
Yeah, but no, a lot of rye spice in there. The one thing that they'll say is it comes very medicinal on the nose.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm not saying it's eucalyptus, but there's that, and that's it. That medicinal of what you get with eucalyptus.
They also say cloves, and I can smell the cloves.
Yeah, no, I can smell the
cloves. Stand out really big. Also, they said there's a hint of cocoa in there.
In the nose?
In the nose.
What's wrong with my nose? COVID.
I'm not really getting the cocoa. So, okay, let's go in on this. Ready?
All right, let's do this again.
Really spicy.
Okay. Okay, wait. I don't know what that flavor is, but that's good.
Yeah.
Now, we had this one sitting for about 5 minutes, maybe?
At least around 5 minutes or so. We let it sit so it's breathing a little bit. Now, what they're saying in the palate, you should get some citrus.
Yeah, I can see that, but
and more hints of rye and spice. So that's the main thing.
There's almost a heavy, like I want to say it's not perfume, but it's kind of like that.
Okay, I can see what you're saying. So now one of the flavors that's in the nose is cardamom.
Yeah, of course.
So that could be what you're picking up.
That might be it. Yeah, that could be very much it. Now, the rye is very overpowering at first.
Yeah, it's pretty strong, right?
But I think that actually it's complex.
Now this is one of the oldest, produced by one of the oldest distilleries in the United States at one time, and one of the biggest distilleries in the United States at one time. they started producing whiskey, Old Overholt, Abraham Overholt, and his father started producing whiskey back in 1810. So
that is old.
That's really old. And they've been producing Old Overholt pretty much ever since. So Abraham Overholt, who's actually on the label, was the guy who really expanded the Overholt brand.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, there's some famous people who are listed as loving this, like Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, yeah.
And more specifically, Doc Holliday.
Well, there you go, because we're all like, I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry. So, I mean, so there's been some famous people who really have preferred Old Overholt. Now, it's interesting to hear Doc Holliday because, he was pretty much an alcoholic and died of tuberculosis, right?
Yeah, of course. He died in an asylum. That's just where they had to put him. That's sad.
But at one time, Old Overholt was one of the largest distilleries in the United States.
I mean, you're talking about the days when you had penny westerns.
Right.
And
that's right.
This is old.
So these guys even were
this
around.
This recipe's old, or whatever this is. This company is old.
And that's right. And they were around during the act, the 1897 Bottle and Bond Act.
Gotcha.
So I don't think it was Bottle and Bond when it was first coming out. But since then, as far as I've always heard, it has always had a bonded recipe since.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but, a lot of people still swear by this. You'll get online and you'll find people talking about this all the time.
Yeah. Now, as far as, my opinion of it at this point, with, we're reviewing it on right now, looking at it, I enjoy this. I like this.
Yeah, I think this is a really good whiskey.
I think it is really good considering the budget we're talking about this. I mean, I have plenty of whiskeys that I could buy about 6 of these bottles. Mm-hmm. And
very easily.
Very
easily.
I mean, if I was going to be a rectifier, I could buy this, put it in a fancier bottle with a cork,
and spin in it.
And I guarantee you, I could probably get 2 to 3 times the bottle price right now.
You're probably right.
I could fool people with this.
I think you could decanter this and then tell people this is like something else.
Yeah, I could.
Like,
I mean,
this is some good stuff.
I think we could.
Yeah, we've ran across a few bottles like that, right?
Yeah.
Where we have found that you could take this bottle, it's a cheap bottle of whiskey, pour it in a decanter, and call it something else, and
invite all the bougie friends.
They'd be like, "Oh, this is some great stuff." You're
like, yeah, it is. But look, you are my best friends. And I want you to enjoy it. And they're like, well, what is it? And I'm like, no. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to just enjoy the evening.
What you do is you take this and you pour it in.
Does that sound like something I've done to you?
No, you have done that.
Yeah, I have not.
So what you do is you take something like this and you pour it in your infinity bottle, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
and then people come over and say, hey, I got this infinity bottle I've been blending for a while. Let's try it.
They're like, damn,
suddenly you become a falsified rectifier, and all you did was pour the bottle straight in there. They're like, man, this guy knows how to blend whiskey.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finger. What are we talking here?
You tell me.
First of all.
Oh, wow.
I need to make sure that I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Now, I would say this is the first time in the last 3 bottle and bonds that we've done that you did a third pour on second pour.
Oh, yeah. This one's fun for me. You know why?
Why? Tell me.
It's because over the last few days, I have spent dollars on whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, I plan on sharing.
Thank goodness.
And, we will be reviewing some of the dollars worth of whiskey.
Thank goodness, again.
But this one's a lot of fun. This is the price point.
Yeah.
And it is comparable to some of the stuff that I just bought that
says a lot. Now, once again, though, I honestly say I think that has something to do. That says a lot about Jim Beam.
It could very well be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you rate this? Let me hear it.
Yeah. So, compared to other whiskeys in my collection, okay?
Okay.
This one's gonna be tough because comparing to other whiskeys in my collection, it's a solid 2-finger.
Okay.
Compared to the price point, this is a 3-finger whiskey.
So you're saying it's a 3-finger whiskey?
I do.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, it's that good. And right now I can tell this one's going to hold up. It's not going to be something that's just going to be fade away. It won't hold its bite, whatever you want to call that. It's legit.
Okay, I can see that. I think that's fair, and I would agree. I think compared to some of the more expensive whiskeys, it would fall under the 2 category. But I think when I compare it to other budget whiskeys, it seems to hold up better than maybe even Old Granddad.
Oh, sure. It's
so definitely. I mean, I'm gonna throw this in the 4 category.
Wow.
So I mean, you think about that for a minute. I mean, if you compare this to like Russell's Reserve, just the straight barrel, right? It's pretty much in line with that. If you want to take it from the rye end, it's definitely to me better than what was that rye that we had that tastes like pickles?
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is better than Rittenhouse. And that's a $20 budget whiskey.
Okay, now that we're talking, Rittenhouse is what? $40? $30?
No, Rittenhouse is a $20 whiskey.
Yeah, Rittenhouse is $20.
This is a $28 whiskey.
So that's interesting.
Do you get any pickle out of that?
Actually, no, I don't.
Exactly right. So I mean, there's something going on there. Clearly, the mash bill in this rye is extremely. It's gonna have to be a rye whiskey. It's a lot of rye.
Yeah, but like you're talking about, we've had a lot of other ryes.
We've had a lot of ryes.
And this is one of the more balanced.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. And this is why I'm leaning toward a 4.
This is kind of strange because I'm like sitting here, the longer I think about it, the more of a fan I get.
Yeah, and if you think it gets a little sweeter. It gets a little. It just opens up a little bit more. So I say a 4 for me. So what do you think? Have you had Old Overholt? Do you agree with us?
I think I agree with him.
Thankfully, this bottle's getting ready to leave the studio. So,
No.
in the meantime, hey, you know what, guys? We're just glad you're here this week, hanging out with us. If you've had Old Overholt and you like it, let us know down below.
If you haven't had it, go buy it and just treat yourself because sit down, really contemplate it, think about it. I think it's going to be worth the experience.
I think it's a really tasty dram of whiskey. It will probably stay in the cabinet. For the price point of $28, I mean, it's not breaking the bank.
It is not.
And I think you're right. I think when you bring some friends over and your bougie friends and you give them some of this, they'll be shocked.
This will really tie the room together. Will it not?
In the meantime, you guys continue to be cool this week, and we'll see you next week for another whiskey review. Cheers.